Hello and welcome to Dog Day Chess. In this episode we're going to look at the Scotch opening. As black, I usually answer e4 with e5 and knight to f3 with knight to c6. And this sometimes gets me into the Scotch opening, which is characterized by d4. From this point, the main continuation, and by far the most preferred variation, is to play e captures d4, which is followed up by knight captures d4. This is the classical variation. From here, there are two popular continuations. Knight to f6 is one of them, but it allows white to break up black's pawn structure by creating three pawn islands for black, because if white forces the exchange of knights on c6, then after black captures back with b6, black is left with three pawn islands. Black could capture back with the d-pawn instead, but this would be even worse because now white can force a queen exchange, which would force black to forfeit the right to castle. So those are some problems with the knight to f6 variation, which is why the preferred option is to prevent white from breaking up your pawns. But if you think the way to do that is by capturing the knight on d4, then you're wrong. Because after the queen captures back, she'll be in a very strong position. White will have a lead in development, and even though the queen is out early, she can't easily be attacked by black's pieces. I made this mistake in a game that I played a few years ago, and I suffered for much of the game because of this mistake, and because of my lag in development. So if we go back to this position, the best way to prevent white from breaking up your pawn structure is by playing bishop to c5. This move develops your bishop and doubles the attack on the white knight. Now, you might wonder how this move prevents white from breaking up your pawn structure. But it does, because if the white knight should capture your knight, then you can follow it up by bringing your queen out to f6. This move creates a mating threat on f2, and black needs to take care of that threat. The typical response is queen to d2, and now black can capture the knight using the d-pawn. There's no worry of a queen exchange on d8 anymore. By the way, coming back to this position, I have played a game where white did miss the mating threat, and instead white moved the knight, and that allowed me to get a quick mate. So just to complete the discussion, let's jump back to the position before the knight exchange, because the main continuation for white is not to exchange knights, but rather to play bishop to e3. This move protects the knight and defends the f7 square. Black can still continue by developing the queen to f6, tripling the attack on the knight and adding pressure to f7, and white usually continues by playing c3. The opening book goes quite a bit further, but this is as far as I want to go for our purposes. The main thing I wanted to show you was the wrong way and the right way to prevent white from breaking up your pawn structure. The wrong way, by capturing the knight on d4, puts you behind in development, and the right way leaves you attacking several of white's pieces, as you can see here. As always, I hope you learned something from this episode, and thanks for watching.